Ignite the spark within oneself to light the path of holistic health.
Hello and welcome to the Holy Health Podcast. I'm your host, Mitch. Thank you for joining us today. As always, I'm joined here with the beautiful, amazing, doer of all things, task-stacking queen, my wife, Amanda. Thanks for joining us, as always.
So glad to be here, as always.
How are you?
I'm doing okay, actually, which is surprising. What?
Why?
Well, I haven't been doing okay for a good 2 months about. Well, I mean, before that, but, really not okay for a good 2 months. So, I don't know. I'm wondering if it's like having a goal, because I'm writing a book in April, and I'm 33,000 words in, which is a lot if you've ever tried to write or if you've never tried to write. And I think having that goal has kind of like made me focus on it and not the issues in my life.
Definitely.
Or my feelings.
Definitely.
So that could be a good or a bad thing, you know? Hi, Molly. What do you think? Do you think that's a good or a bad thing?
She agrees.
Yeah. So, I'm doing okay. And the weather's better, so that always is a boost. But yeah, I'm writing my book. Had some big shifts, some drama happen in my life.
Oh, yeah.
Over the past week, which I'll talk about after I make a final commitment.
Probably in about 3 months.
Probably less than that. I'm excited. I can't keep it in.
That should be good, though. That's exciting.
I know. I guess it'll come out on Thursday. I don't know. Should I save it? I should probably save it.
Yeah, don't say anything.
I'll save it. But I had to make a very big decision. Very big and expensive decision. And I'm excited about it. So I'll share about that in the future. But how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I am crushing it.
Crushing it.
Yes, crushing it.
This is the longest you've been crushing it as well.
Yeah. I'll say my new job is very good. I like the environment. I like the fast-paced, purposeful, not purposeful, but you have to perform well every day. And it's like a rush. So it's like high stress, gotta do stuff, gotta complete things at certain times. Like you're racing against the clock every day, and if you screw up, it's like a problem.
It's like every day is like Extreme Makeover, like the TV show.
Yeah.
With what was his name?
Tyler?
Ty
something.
Oh, what was his name? That'll bother me. Anyways.
But yeah, it's good. I was thinking about that today. I was like, that's probably why I like it so much, because as an athlete growing up, I've always been an athlete and orient myself towards that way of thinking. You show up to the game to perform. You show up to your sport to perform. And, a regular job that you don't have to really perform at. Teaching would be cool. That's kind of why I did that too, because there's performance to that as well. To be a good teacher in the school system, you got to perform every day. You're selling that lesson plan to the students that you have every day. To be a good teacher, it's hard work. But yeah, I like that type of atmosphere.
I think it's great when you're busy at work every day,
Yeah, it was 11:30 and I was like, how? I checked my clock and I was like, I'm missing lunch right now. It's 11:34 and we have lunch at 11:30.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm 4 minutes late to my Alfredo that I made this week.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, that makes a big difference, as we all know, because
Yeah, I feel so much better. It's unbelievable how your commute to work and your job that you do has an impact on your mental health. I mean, it makes total sense, but like, just
it's unbelievable, but it makes total sense.
yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah, I mean,
same.
it's very important.
Like, it's hard to believe how much of a hook that your commute to work has on your life. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if you're somebody like I remember going to the bank one time, and the lady was like, "Yeah, I'm switching jobs. I'm going to a new bank closer to home." It's like, "Oh yeah, why?" She's like, "Oh, I just couldn't do the commute anymore." How long's the commute? It's like 15 minutes. It's like, how long is a new commute? Like less than 10? Like,
I mean, that's a little extreme.
yeah, some people just can't do it, but
Yeah.
you know, an hour and a half, I don't care who you are,
Compared to 30 minutes is a big difference.
hour and a half sucks
That's
balls.
why they always say in Pittsburgh, never live somewhere that you have to cross a bridge or go through a tunnel to get to work.
Yeah, well, that's probably impossible in Pittsburgh. Let's be honest.
Well, I mean, not any bridge, but the major bridges.
Yeah. So that's been my life, just feeling good.
Good.
Yeah. Working. I I'm like afraid to start adding more responsibility to my life. And I don't know why. Like, I'm very intimidated to, like, you know, to put out an offering of, personal training again. Like, I'm like afraid.
Well, now that you've admitted that publicly, you have to do it. Because if you don't, then we'll all know that your fear is stopping you. I mean, I think that public declaration is huge because with writing my book, I'm sharing that online. And every day that I'm like, I don't want to do this, I just want to quit. I'm like, no, I can't because like I'm out there publicly like saying this, and then everybody's gonna know that I quit. So I continue. So now you
Yeah.
have to do it.
Well, I'm gonna do it eventually, but
Trainer Mitch Revived, coming to you in May 2026.
it's just funny because, like, I've listened to hours of entrepreneurial content, so like all of the classic excuses come up for me, and I know the answers to the excuses, so I'm like battling myself like constantly. So that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I come up with an excuse. I'm like, well, that's not really a real excuse. Like,
I mean, it's an excuse.
you could just do it.
Yeah. It's not a real obstacle, it's an excuse.
Yeah. Yeah. Things just keep coming up. And I'm like, it's like the car broke down, so I got to fix the car now.
The car died.
So, got to figure that out. And it's getting warm out. So, that whole outside, getting tasks done outside is the thing.
I listened to something or read it, I don't remember, recently where it was talking about that. It was like some type of manifestation thing because I'm back into like the manifestation positive affirmation world. I'm like starting back where I started like years and years ago. Like I've landed here again.
For the 10th time.
Well, no, I mean, like, I haven't been into like law of attraction type of stuff, like real hardcore. I think the entire time we've been together. Like back in the day, I used to be super into it.
Yeah.
And my life was way better. It really was. So that says something. But I'm getting back into that space, and so I don't know what I was listening to, but it was something where it was like, okay, you declare that you're going to do something. You were like, I'm going to be a personal trainer again, and then all of these things come up, and so you have to make the decision to prioritize the thing because you're like being tested of like how much do you want this essentially. And so you have to kind of like prove it to like the universe, but also yourself that like you're serious about this and you truly really want it. Because if you truly really want it and you're serious about it, you're gonna make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna be like driving in your car and like doing a voice note of like, I can charge this and I can offer this and I can do this. Like you're gonna find ways to like figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, I have it pretty well figured out, but just the final step.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I did want to like see how tired I would be after work, which pretty tired. So that would really limit how much I want to put out and like extend myself. So that I don't want to be like, oh, I'm gonna do it every 5 days a week, blah blah blah.
Start small.
Yeah. So I wanted to see how this would go and give it enough time. I think I know what it's gonna be like. So
Cool. Is this an in-person thing, or is this a virtual thing, or is it like a combo?
it's gonna start in person and then maybe develop into a huge empire
Duh.
and then a franchise.
Of course.
So I don't know. But yeah, that's what I've been thinking about.
Nice. I like it. So, a question for today.
Do you have one?
No, but I'm coming up with one as it comes out of my mouth.
Okay.
I would like to know, when did you start to question the biohacking world?
That's a good question. It wasn't too long ago. Pretty recent, I would say. Probably like a year or two. Wait, what year is it? 2026. What was I doing? Yeah, I'd say maybe 2 years ago, maybe a year or so ago, something like that.
And I have a follow-up question.
Okay.
Why?
Why? Well, I started to see like the prominent figures in the biohacking community, like microdosing drugs, talking about sacred ceremonies using drugs, and taking pharmaceutical pills because they have something, or like taking pharmaceuticals for mental health. Just a lot of stuff like that, kind of like not having integrity, where they were like putting out this type of persona that they do all of these things and that's why they are so good and whatever, but they don't ever talk about like, well, I'm on a statin or like I do drugs every day. That's why
I mean, they do kind of openly talk about it too, though.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's not like a everyone kind of like claps and like praises it, like, oh, stunning and brave, like, oh, it's so good. And like the reason why I thought biohacking was so cool in the beginning was because it was like all about natural stuff. Like, how can we optimize the human body? How can we optimize human biology? That was what it was all about. And then it started to turn into like, now how can we do it artificially but naturally? Like a natural artificial thing. And I don't like that. I want the basics. I want grounding, I want sunlight, I want good water, maybe some cold therapy, some sauna, light therapy, basics. I don't want the peptides, the testosterone, the hormones, the drugs, all that stuff. It just seems not genuine.
Yeah, I mean, the biohacking world has really just kind of, I mean, it's been more and more, from what I'm observing, tapping into the pharmaceutical world. And it's also just really steep, deeply rooted in green allopathy, like hardcore.
Yes. I do think it kind of accelerated itself down that path recently for some reason. It was almost like the bell curve like we like went up the bell curve and peaked out at like maximize sunlight and take your vitamins. And then it was like, well, we don't need as much sun as long as we're doing red light and psychedelics and all of these things. And then we started to bell curve down, and now we're working our way back down the other side of like this green allopathy thing where it's just like we're gonna stack supplements. Oh, they're coming out with new stuff. Like, oh, there's a new supplement, and this could be like the new thing, NAD plus. Like, oh, it's the best thing ever. It's gonna be a cure all. So it's interesting.
Yeah, I think my thing is always when taking health advice or any advice from anybody, uh, but specifically health biohacking advice, it's like I look at the person providing the advice and I'm like, do I want to be like this person? And what I started to see in the biohacking world, and I won't name any names, but I started to see these prominent biohackers like go off the rails, like mentally, like they don't look good physically, like it's just like something seems off. And there's like more than one that I'm thinking of here. And when I'm like, okay, well, like you're doing all these things, or at least you say you're doing all of these things that you're trying to sell us, but like you're just you're just off.
You're still seeking something.
Well, yeah, but just like from a health perspective, like they don't look good, or like they just get on a statin, or like something. Like there are things where I'm just like, that's not, that doesn't align with the original message. And so if I look at you or your page or anything, and maybe it's a judgmental perspective, but it is what it is. If I look at that and I'm like, I don't want that. I don't care what you have to say about anything. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to listen to your advice.
That's what I mean about integrity. I mean, if you're gonna say that you're so healthy and you do all these things, but yet on the side you're selling peptides to whoever, or like, doing something shady, or not being totally genuine about some of the things that you're doing, that's just a big red flag for me too. I'm not like real interested in somebody that's gonna be basically sell me anything no matter what.
Well, I mean, that's all influencers out there, but not all, but most. But I think something really dangerous in the biohacking world is the just casual nature of the way that a lot of these different things are presented. Like, I'm thinking about different supplements and things like that that can be very addictive, can be very hard on the body. And these biohacking people promote them. Maybe they still do, or they don't. I know one no longer promotes a product, but he never came out and said why, even though it's like extremely addictive. And like there's whole like Reddit groups of like these people trying to get off of this supplement, let's say, that somebody promoted.
Just kratom.
Mm-hmm. And it's marketed as like a biohacking tool.
It's crazy.
And like it has like a fun package, and I think it was like a tropical theme. It like looked really cool, and like these people are like promoting it, just like if you want more energy, and like if you're dealing with inflammation or whatever it may be, like this is like what I use. And then they stop sponsoring it, or they stop being sponsored by it, and all these people start having problems, but they never come out and say, hey guys, kind of messed up there. There's like no accountability.
Yeah,
with a lot of these products. It's
let
like
that one go by.
On to the next one, and now we're sponsored by this, we're sponsored by that. And I think it's really crazy because like a lot of these big biohackers have created a brand and trust within their communities. And so people who aren't as submersed in, researching these products fully and as in depth as they could or should, can really be led down some dangerous paths.
Yeah, I mean, most people, we're all consumers. We all want to buy stuff. We all want like the thing that's going to make us feel good. Like, oh, the new shiny thing, right? We all want that, and there's going to be capitalism takes advantage of people that are suggestible, So you're going to have a lot of people that buy into that based off of you having a platform of trust that you've built, and these people are like following your every whim. Like, oh, like Joe Rogan said XYZ, So yeah, it's like a thing. Like, oh, you could say all you want. You don't want all this responsibility, and you can say whatever you want on your show, but like people hang on your every word, especially if you're, a Joe Rogan of the world. Like, he's a comedian, and you shouldn't take a lot of things he says seriously, but at the same time, a lot of things that he says is true and factual, and like people hang on his every word, and like everybody talks about the Joe Rogan experience, But yeah, trust.
Yeah, and I think what it comes back to, just for us mainly, is like the natural and holistic health and how far biohacking has strayed from that. And like, I mean, I think partly why that has happened is because a lot of the things that we advocate for and that truly work are very underestimated, and they're extremely low cost or free. And so it's hard to, run a business off of sunlight.
Yeah.
It's hard to run a business
Let me
off
sell
of,
you sunlight.
yeah. So I think it's just grounding yourself back in the basics and like coming back to that space and not needing to listen to every word that these biohackers say. Because at the end of the day, they're just like people who probably, do a lot of research and are very into science and just have a lot of opportunity to share various products with the world, to put it nicely.
Everyone has a bias,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, but I mean, it's like, I just think of like regular influencers who are like, this skincare has like changed my life. And like they promote it for like 3 weeks and then they're on to something new. And I'm like, 3 weeks on a skincare routine is like nothing. Like, you can't tell me that this product changed your life, Like, and I think you can translate that over to the biohacking world. It's like, this supplement, blah, blah, blah. And I think it's just like just an energy of like seeking. Like, these biohackers are always seeking. And
the next best thing.
Yeah, and like, this is going to be it. This is it. The thing. This is the thing for this or that or whatever. And they're so invested in, like I said, the science or like the lab markers or metrics like on their Aura ring or whatever it may be, and it completely disconnects you from what they originally intended to connect even more to, which is nature.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's the true biohacker. True biohacker is kind of like a hippie, barefoot in the grass, outside as much as you can, connecting to nature, going for walks in the woods, picking flowers, smelling flowers, like having that experience outside, That's the best thing that we can do as humans. Unplug from the matrix that we live in, the technocracy, and tune into the divine, which is nature.
Yeah, and I think it's hard in the modern world, which is why biohacking has blown up as big as it has. And so I always like to kind of give tips on like how to implement that natural living when you live in the modern world. And so like my big thing is always like sunrise. If you can't sit outside on the beach and watch the sunrise every morning, like, you can open the window in your bedroom as the sun rises. You can crack the window in your car as you drive to work in the morning. Like, there are ways to get that morning
Yes.
sunrise without being like, I can't watch the sunrise because like I'm going to work. It's like, okay, well, just crack your window.
Yeah.
Like, it's that easy. So like there are a lot of easy tips and tricks like that I believe are like the true biohacking modalities and tips that people can and should use. That doesn't mean we don't have red lights. We have a bunch of different red light stuff and I use them. But it's mostly in the winter because we live in the modern world and because, I am a lizard and I need more sun and warmth than I get. So I use them, but they're not my main mode of, you know, circadianly connecting or dealing with inflammation or
You're
whatever it may
supplementing
be.
your light sources.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not you're not replacing your protein consumption with a powder. You're supplementing. That's what supplements are for. It's to add in a little bit here and there when you missed something, you didn't get enough of something. Well, I'm going to have a protein shake. Well, I'm going to do some red light this morning because, X, Y, Z. But
yeah, it's like would I rather lay under a red light panel for 45 minutes or would I rather go lay out in the sun for 45 minutes?
It's almost like I feel like people think that red light experience is like a more exaggerated experience.
You're like getting more bang for your buck than the sun.
Yeah, it's like I'm in the red light.
Which it makes sense because like when you look at the sun at any point in time, it does not look like red light.
It's not red usually. Maybe like very, very beginning sunrise or sunset is you might get like red sun or red light, but
yeah, but the whole the outside world is not red, like you turn that red light on, it's like you're like chilling in the red.
Yeah.
So it could be they're like, oh yeah, red light.
Yeah, they think it's better, but it's not.
You can just go out in the sun and you can get all the spectrums that you need.
Yeah, because fun fact, the sun has the full spectrum, and the red light in the sun, the amount of red light in the sun doesn't change throughout the day.
But the amount of blue light does.
Yes, which is cool because blue light does sync our circadian rhythms. That's why it has different potencies throughout the day. But if you're outside at any point, you're getting red light.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like I would rather take my computer or take a book or eat my breakfast or go for a walk or do whatever I can do by getting sun instead of sitting in front of a red light.
Definitely.
All day long.
Definitely.
But like I said, in the winter, we see the sun like for like 2 minutes. And like, yeah, you can still get the spectrums of light when you're outside, but it's not the same. And so in the winter, I understand like biohacking with red light boxes makes sense to me because it gives you that extra boost that you need. But in July, I doubt I would turn my red light box on at all.
No, you don't really need
unless I was like hurt or something.
Unless you have a specific ailment you're trying to heal.
Yeah. But I think like that's something that a lot of people overlook. They're like, okay, wake up, time to turn on my red light. It's like, or you could just open the window.
Yeah.
And like sit by the window. Or not even sit by it, but
go outside.
Whatever.
Yeah. I mean, when the temperature changes and you can go outside in a t-shirt, shorts, bare feet, and it's warm, that's amazing.
For sure. I mean, when the sun will rise in the winter, like I can see the sun, I open the window. I don't care if it's 2 degrees out.
Yeah.
That window is open for sunrise.
Best thing you can do at any point is if you're indoors, invite the outdoor environment indoors, which would be opening the window. And if you're out, or be outside, that's the best things you can do.
Because you don't get the same benefits through windows, through glass.
Yeah. Most glass nowadays is extremely filtered.
Yeah.
Yeah. It takes out a lot of the infrared, so like the heat, UV, a lot of the red spectrum. You don't get much from it.
For sure.
Where the current state of biohacking is now, which we kind of touched on a little bit, but biohacking now I see it as before it was optimization through these natural modalities. Right? We're getting back to nature. We're discovering the science of grounding and sunlight and water, and we're like, oh, this is great. Like, we're gonna pursue these things. And then it's like, well, now that we found the science of these natural things, how can we like take snippets out of all of it and turn it into a supplement and turn it into a biohack,
It's
and so we can sell it.
Very isolated and secular, which if you listen to our homeopathy podcast last week, you know is not great. We want to look at the full totality of the picture.
Anytime you take something out of the whole picture and try to give it to the body, it's totally different. It doesn't hit the same. It's not natural.
Vitamin D is a perfect example.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of information coming out now about supplementing with vitamin D is like not good, which I've known for years.
Yeah.
But
heard it here first.
Yeah. What was I talking about? Oh yeah. So that was happening, and they took out these little snippets, and now it's like, oh, we're gonna take little bits of the sun, and we're gonna sell that individually. We're gonna take hydrogen supplements, and we're gonna sell that individually.
Which I do like.
We're gonna take the PEMF mats and all of the grounding stuff and like the frequencies and then EMFs and stuff. We're gonna take that and we're gonna sell that too. And then then you got the injectables, peptides, and that whole thing. That's a whole other beast. But that it's now we're manipulating our biology to create an artificial reaction that is kind of like it's an evolutionary process that we already have, but we're artificially activating it.
Yeah.
Instead of doing it through the traditional way of evolution, which takes a lot longer, which is hard for people. But
yeah, and you think you need like the big fancy thing, Oh, I just bought the $1,000 PEMF mat. Oh, I just bought all of these supplements. What?
Why are you laughing?
I don't know why
you're laughing. Because we have one?
The PEMF mat? I like it. I use it. I like it.
Suck.
No, I like it and I use it, but I haven't used it for a while now because it's nice out. But
I don't ever use it. I was like, oh, we should totally get that. That'd be sweet. And I never use it.
Yeah. But yeah, you buy the supplement stack. You like invest in all of these things, and that gives you a little hit, You're like, oh yeah, this is great, and it's seen as like a cool thing now. Like if you're like, I have the $1,000 PEMF mat, like I have this biohacking thing. It's like a weird like,
It's materialism.
Yeah, and I mean, we have a lot of these things like we said, and I use them here and there when I want and need, but they are an easy avenue to disconnect yourself from nature even more.
Definitely.
Which is crazy because, that's what they're mimicking. And they're intended, at least from my perspective, to be used supplementally when you can't get the natural thing. Like, I'm not going out in the middle of January and, like, laying in the grass, standing barefoot in the grass. Like, it's just not happening. I can't even see the grass. Like, we had, like, 2 feet of snow this year. Like, I can't even get to the grass. So, there's the PEMF mat. Perfect. But, like I said, in July, I don't need that.
Yeah, no.
So, when we move south, hit us up because we'll have all this stuff for sale.
Yeah. Yeah, for real. Yeah, I think when I saw the mat, I was really interested in it. I was like, oh, that would be so good. I read a book about like all the frequencies. I read a book about the pulsating electromagnetic frequencies. And then it's like, oh, they have a mats for that. Like, it's a cure all. Like, duh. And like certain frequencies are good for like tendon repair and muscles and like aches and pains or bones. And like, I have it all like listed out in one of my notebooks somewhere of like 1 to 3 hertz does this and 4 to 7 does this and whatever. And then I read another book, and then it was kind of saying how the PMF was not so good. I was like, shit. Now I don't really want to use it. So I don't really ever use
Yeah.
the PMF aspect of it, but I have used it a lot for like just the red light aspect. Red light and the heat that it does.
Yeah.
Which is good.
So do you believe it's good or bad now?
Which part?
PMF.
I think in like small doses, like random occurrences, it's not bad. But to do it all the time, I probably wouldn't recommend.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of biohacking people recommend it all the time.
Yeah.
Like, you're not supposed to do it daily, I don't think.
I definitely would not recommend it.
Yeah.
Even like a consistent amount. I would say like random.
Why?
The electromagnetic frequencies that are coming from the mat are themselves non-native. So, yes, you can mimic the amount of hertz and the amplitude of the frequency, but it's just like we were saying, you take a snippet of the thing and then you put it in, it's like still like a foreign substance and it's not like the whole picture. But those frequencies can be good for like your cells and stuff, but it can also be good for cancer cells. It can also be good for the negative things that are happening in your body too. So it's just kind of like that's always the balance of all of these conversations.
Yeah, there's nuance to it all.
Yeah,
you know?
it's like the peptides things. It's the same thing with the peptide issue. Like, yeah, you can do a cycle of the Wolverine stack and like heal your Achilles tendon that you tore off your bone in like 8 weeks, right? And like that's pretty sweet. But to do a cycle of peptides just to kind of like tighten things up or get rid of some inflammation, now we're kind of getting into some sketchy waters of like, well, inflammation's good. If you're hiding inflammation, then you got things growing that shouldn't be growing. You don't know that they're growing. And you have pains here that you don't know that are supposed to be there. And it's like, now we got tumor growth, we got cancer growth conversation, and you don't know it's happening. And you're kind of like promoting it through the use of peptides and stuff. So it's that same conversation over and over again of like, yeah, these things can be good, but at the same time, if you have other things going on in your body and you don't know it, they can also help with those to grow as well.
I mean, same with protein,
Yeah, I mean, it's
like
literally everything.
When you have cancer, like if there's certain stages, but like initially, you should not be eating a lot of protein when you have cancer.
Yeah, I mean, pretty sure it doesn't help. Yeah, it helps grow it.
Yeah, I mean that's what protein does,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, it's a cell that doesn't die. So if you're eating a lot of protein, you're continuing to be anabolic. That cell's going to continue to grow too. So
yeah, you have to get it to a certain stage, like in your cancer journey, before you start to really eat it again. I mean, you're not eating none, but very little.
Yeah.
You should be.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my tidbit about the PEMF stuff.
Cool.
I know a few people that do it very consistently.
Yeah.
And they don't have any problems, but
like you know them personally?
Yeah. So they don't have problems, and sometimes I think a lot of it has to do with ignorance is bliss. If you don't know, if you think that it's the best thing ever, then it probably is going to be.
Well, yeah, and I mean, we're talking PMF compared to like, I don't know, like eating and drinking fast food all day, every day, like that's a whole different conversation,
Yeah, and you definitely don't want to do both.
Yeah.
Then yeah, that's not a good idea.
PMF and fast food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like trying to like combat your
Balance
bad
each other
habits
out.
with something good. And it's like,
Yeah.
probably not a good idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, that seems to always be the conversation with a lot of this stuff that most people don't really talk about. They only talk about how things are so beneficial and it's
Because they
so healing
sell them.
and it's so good.
Or they have a discount
There's
code.
no side effects.
Yeah. They sell them or they have a discount code. That's why.
Uh-huh.
Or if they don't now, they will in the future, so they don't want to say anything bad now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but in 5 years, whenever the things that I sold you is now causing cancer and like people have a bunch of negative side effects, then it's like, oh, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I never did that.
Mm-hmm. Next. Yeah.
Next thing is to sell.
Yeah.
Some of the other things the biohackers do, I have written down adaptogens, which I think are kind of a good thing.
I think it depends.
Which again, it
It
goes.
depends what we're talking. What adaptogens are we talking about? Any? All of them?
Well, a lot of the trendy ones.
Like ashwagandha.
Right,
Like,
that's a big one.
yeah.
People see things on the internet and then like let's say someone made a reel about ashwagandha as an adaptogen and it's super good for this and all they list the benefits and then they make a video that looks good about them drinking it and they feel good and like all these things, but they don't like tell you like all the different ways that you're supposed to take it and like combine it with certain things and like if you don't put it with this and it doesn't absorb properly or
Well, with ashwagandha, I think you're supposed to cycle it.
and I'm pretty sure it's better off at night, like in the evening.
I don't know for sure. I used to take it. I know a lot of people have problems with it though. A lot of sensitive people cannot take ashwagandha.
Mm-hmm.
It's too stimulating for them. Yeah, I think it depends, I took it for a really long time and I really loved it. But I know other people who took it and like couldn't hang.
Did you take it actually, or were you just?
Oh yeah.
Oh okay.
Like years and years ago, before we were together. And I think it depends on the sourcing of where you're getting these things. I think that really matters.
Yeah.
Quality matters.
Yeah, I mean, everyone thinks that supplements are regulated, but they're not.
No.
I mean, they're regulated to the degree that you can't sell people poison, but they're not necessarily regulated to the point of like, is this actually in the product? Or you're saying that there's 500 milligrams of this product, but when you take it, there's only like you're not getting that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so I think adaptogens are good. I don't think they're necessary. I think they can be supportive. But I don't think you should be taking them every day forever and ever. I think there's a time and place and then you kind of move on to something else.
I think a lot of like the community now, it's kind of what you were saying and what we've been saying this whole time. They take they're like the list of adaptogens or whatever. And I don't even know them all, to be honest. Yeah, the ones I gravitate towards are more naturally occurring.
I mean, you basically are doing like mushrooms, like adaptogenic mushrooms.
Yeah, mushrooms, green tea.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole long list. If you would Google adaptogens, I'm sure you'd get a huge long list of all the things that are supplements that you could go buy. And you're going to go find that, this one's good for this, and this one's good for that, and this one's good for this. And yeah, that's all well and good. But again, it's like, let's go back to a naturally occurring thing. Because, yeah, these things might be sourced from like a whole food or whatever. But the amount that you get from the pill is way more than you would get from nature. You would have to eat like a whole bush of whatever leaves to get the benefits from a couple pills that you're taking. You know, like if I like to drink green tea and to get 200 milligrams of L-theanine that's naturally occurring in green tea leaves, you'd have to drink like, what is it? Math. 5 or 6 tea bags of green tea.
Well, here's the thing. Like, why do you need the adaptogens in the first place? Like, what in your life is out of alignment to the point where you have to reach for the adaptogen?
Yeah. A lot of times it's coping, just like everything else, you
Yeah,
know?
but like, are there changes that you can make so that you no longer need an adaptogen and you can just make a lifestyle change that can then support you even better?
Mm-hmm.
And then you don't have to spend $50 on a bottle of whatever it is.
Yeah. I gravitate towards mushrooms and green tea. Those are like my things. Mushrooms are super beneficial. I always remember this one documentary I watched a long time ago. I don't even know if I finished the whole thing, but the very beginning of it, it talked about fungi and how fungus, the mycelium, basically acts as a neural network for trees and like the soil. And that's how a lot of information is passed through a forest, is through the mycelium in the soil. And nutrients and stuff. Like without mycelium and fungus in the forestry, like things wouldn't grow properly. There would be a lot of bad things going on. So it's part of like the microbiome and like the ecosystem of like the microbes, because we have fungus in us as well. Uh, so I think about that as more natural, and you can get. I mean, there's certain supplements that like yeah, you're probably getting more than you would if you ate a handful of mushrooms, obviously, because everybody wants to have like the I want the feeling. I want the extra benefits. I want more. I want more, which I get. But uh, still, I think reaching towards something that is like naturally occurring is always a better option.
Yeah, definitely, but you're still reaching.
Definitely. Definitely still reaching.
Yeah.
For sure. Like I have chaga infused coffee, reishi infused coffee, lion's mane infused coffee. Those are my go-tos. I like those.
Yeah.
I like the neurogenesis aspect of lion's mane. It's what really hooks me because I want my brain to work good.
Do you notice any of that with the lion's mane, like actual mushrooms we had for dinner last week?
No.
Yeah.
Like I said, I would probably would have had to have eaten that whole thing
Yeah,
by myself
for sure.
to get the benefits because I mean, if you think about it, that's what they're doing as a supplement company. They're taking like a whole serving of mushrooms like this, like a big serving, like 2 handfuls, and dehydrating them and then grinding them into a powder and then putting them into a supplement. So
Yeah,
you're getting like multiple servings of
for
that
sure.
thing in
Yeah.
a powder. But yeah,
Cool.
peptides, I mean, we can talk about that type of stuff, but
Peptides are synthetic. All of them. They're not natural. Your body has natural peptides, but the ones that you inject or consume, however you're consuming them, are not natural. None of them.
that's a funny one.
They're all synthetic. Sorry
Yeah,
to
they're
break the
like
news, but it's true.
naturally occurring.
Yeah, in your body, not in the bottle of whatever you're taking.
That's what they say about the tests too. Like
Naturally occurring.
naturally occurring tests.
Where do
Like,
they get it?
I don't know. That's the question that nobody ever knows that takes test.
It's because it's synthetic.
It's natural. I'm exchanging test for test.
No, you're not.
You know?
Yeah.
Why would I do a test boosting supplement when I can just do the real thing?
Yeah. Which is actually the fake thing, but
Yeah.
teach their
You
own.
know. My Jack Kruse always said that if your body makes it, you shouldn't take it.
I agree.
Yeah. And that's like, you could live by that.
Definitely.
You know, we make vitamin D. So taking vitamin D, consuming it, probably not a good idea.
No.
Our body makes hormones. Should we take artificial ones?
No.
Probably not. You know, like if your body is naturally making things that is beneficial to us, that we need for life, then we shouldn't take them exogenously, like externally. We should not consume those things outside of us.
I agree.
But that's the go-to slogan. If you ever think, should I take this thing? Like melatonin is another big one, like for sleep aid. Melatonin is naturally occurring when the sun sets. When
As
it
long
gets
as
dark
you're not
out,
staring at the blue light.
yeah. If your overhead lights are on constantly and you're staring at your phone 6 inches in front of your face, 6 feet. Like seeing your phone 6 feet away. That might be a good idea.
Keep your phone at least 6 feet away
6 feet
after dark.
Yeah. But yeah, melatonin naturally occurring when it gets dark out.
It should, yes.
Yes.
But most people's does not occur.
Yeah, because you're doing things that are keeping it from doing so.
Yeah.
But then you're like, well, I'm going to take melatonin. And then you think that's a good idea because it helps you sleep. And then what's happening to your natural melatonin production? It's going to go down.
I don't need to be here.
Yeah.
I do not do well on melatonin. I can't
Melatonin is rough.
I can't hang.
It's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you sleep hard and you wake up hard. Not in a good way. You're like barely awake and you're like groggy and you like don't know what's going on. And you're like in a haze for like the first hour or two, no matter what.
Yeah, I would get anxious and it was not good. Yeah. So no melatonin for me, which is good. I mean, I don't do good on a lot of supplements.
No, you're super sensitive.
Which for a while I was like, this is so annoying. But now I'm like, that is so good. So it's just a perspective shift, you know? The further down the path you get, the more you can see things differently. And sometimes that's in a positive way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't do the melatonin.
There's a lot of stuff that most people do that I'm like, I don't know how you do that.
Yeah, or I'm like cringing because I'm like, oh,
yeah,
don't do that.
Please don't do that.
Bad idea.
Yeah, then I'm like, let them live their life. They're okay. Don't say anything.
I don't say anything. I keep my mouth shut. I just tell you.
Yeah.
Like, can you believe that Joan is doing this? And then you're like, oh my God. I'm like, I know.
Yeah. Like, did you say anything? No. Yeah.
Caffeine for children, that's crazy too. But that's a whole other
wild
story.
One. That's real wild.
Whole other story.
Yeah, caffeine is crazy.
Yeah, you need it after you take your melatonin at night. Whew.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think like the whole caffeine thing for me, I do best whenever I time it with the natural diurnal cycles of cortisol, which is 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. So if I basically delay caffeine as long as possible in the early mornings, like if you're waking up at 5, if you're waking up at 4 or 3 in the morning, like that's rough. But if you can delay caffeine consumption until 8 a.m.,
people will be like tweaking for 4 hours.
that it's
coffee. Anyway, where's coffee? 3 hours to my coffee. 2 hours to my coffee. Coffee.
But once you get used to it, once your body gets used to it, you feel so much better. Like it's a natural, like you're spiking cortisol with your caffeine at the time that your cortisol is supposed to be spiked, which is around 8, you know? So then you have that spike when it's supposed to spike. So then in the evening, you have the drop when you're supposed to have the drop. But if you're messing that cycle up and you have a spike too early, then you have a drop too early. And now what? Now you're going to need more caffeine at 2 p.m. And then you're up all night long and you sleep
You're staring
sucks.
at blue light, and then you're never getting any melatonin at all.
And then you're waking up groggy and you need caffeine. So boom, hit the caffeine hard. And then it's just a cycle and you can't get out of it. Caffeine is a tough one. It's like the drug that everybody's hooked on.
See, and I can't hang with that either, so that's a blessing in disguise as well.
Caffeine, nicotine, those are two big ones. I mean, nicotine is like exploded, I think.
But yeah, because it's been rebranded, just like everything else that's bad for us.
Yeah.
It's been rebranded to be like this new health thing. And like, yeah, I'm not saying that there's no health benefits, but like people for years were like, red wine is a health food or a health drink. A glass a night.
One glass a night.
And it's like...
It's good for you. Even breastfeeding mothers should drink red wine.
It's like ridiculous. Caffeine is having a resurgence the same way that like that was doing.
Nicotine.
Nicotine. Nicotine is. And I'm just like, dude, do you realize that this is a highly addictive substance? What are you doing? I don't care if it's a pouch or a gum or a cigarette, or I don't care how you're consuming it.
Well, it's not the tobacco that's bad. Yeah. It's the other stuff that's in the cigarette that's bad.
And the chemicals that they add.
It's the other chemicals added in that's bad.
It's not the fact that you're inhaling smoke into your lungs multiple times a day or even once a day. Mm-hmm. That's not bad. Caffeine's a no. Or nicotine. I keep saying caffeine. Yeah. They're both a no for me, but nicotine is a definite no.
They're both extremely similar chemicals.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, nicotine and its trendiness for long COVID and MCAS and all of this stuff. I'm like, it's like a biohacker thing.
It is. That's what it's become.
It's like, go touch the grass and like watch the sun.
It's like,
and
I'm going to
get off of your phone.
I'm going to smoke nicotine for the biohacking benefits of nicotine.
Even the patches are a terrible idea. You're becoming dependent on a substance.
I mean, there's pouches, there's the patches that you mentioned, there's gums, there's toothpicks,
Toothpicks?
Yeah.
Sheesh.
What's it called? Nickets or nippets? Nick?
I'm out of the loop, I don't know.
Nicks. Something like that. Yeah, there's the nicotine toothpicks. You can just like put in your mouth and chew on them, and like neem toothpicks.
Yeah.
So you just like put some nicotine in there and chew on it. Yeah. Everyone needs their nicotine, man.
They do. Now, because it's trendy again.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's happening. Like, that's what I'm saying. So everybody was like, we're going all natty after COVID. Well, now it's like peptides are all natty. And nicotine's all natty. And
organic tobacco.
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
We're having tobacco ceremonies now.
Yeah, well, that's fine. I mean, if you actually were, sure.
Psychedelics. Everybody should do psychedelics every day. You want to feel your best? Microdose psychedelics.
I've been sober for 25 years, but I'm going to do ayahuasca for the 45th time.
Of course you feel amazing. You're literally microdosing psilocybin. Like, anything
that you need to be dependent on to remain stable or happy or content or confident or functioning in the world is a no for me.
Yeah.
Especially long term. It's a no. Right off the bat. I don't care if it's natural, quote unquote, or not. It's a no. Throw it away.
There's super, super, super specific situations that psychedelics and, those drugs.
It's the same with marijuana.
I have my medical
marijuana card. Okay, for what? Chronic pain, anxiety, give me a break. I don't have any time for people like that. Even though I was married to one.
Yeah, you married one. Loser.
Well, I didn't marry you. You weren't partaking at that point when I married you.
I was like, how do you feel about weed? You were like, yeah, it's fine as long as you're doing it with intention. And I was like, Oh yeah, every day. Every time I do it, I'm intentional.
I intend to do it, yes.
I intend to get high, so duh.
I had to drop an ultimatum before or after we got engaged.
Yeah.
It worked. Who knew? But anyways, yeah, like I have my medical marijuana card for chronic pain or anxiety or whatever. No, you're a loser. Get out. I don't have any time for that.
I don't think that it helps anxiety.
No, because I mean you just become reliant on it. Then anytime you're anxious, you're gonna need it. You can't function in the world like that. That's why everybody they're chronically, partaking in it. No. And I mean, this is a whole other conversation. We're getting into the weeds, but the fact that the government weed is
no
not.
Pun intended.
Yeah, the government weed is not the weed of 2005.
No,
like
it's
they're
just
not
like
the
everything
same.
else. It's become so potent. We want to potentize everything.
It is now basically pharmaceutical.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the fact that you have to, and at least here, you have to go get a medical card for it from a doctor makes it in the land of pharmaceutical for me.
Definitely.
So, you can always make that conversation of like, well, in specific circumstances, cannabis is good. And it's like, yeah, if you have glaucoma or like end stage cancer, smoke it up. But most of us don't have glaucoma or end stage cancer.
Right. Those are always like there's always like the excuses of why these things can be good for certain people.
Yeah.
And then that means that like it's good.
Yeah, like I'm not 1,000% against, medical marijuana.
Yeah, I'm not saying take it off the table completely, but your everyday person who doesn't really have those specific ailments, what do you need it for other than to party, to escape reality, to cope with your life, and to do drugs? I mean,
yeah.
Let's be real. That's why you do it.
Yeah.
And like, why do we take biohacking supplements? Because we are pursuing vanity. We're pursuing instant gratification. We're pursuing some type of dopamine hit. Like when I'm drinking my coffee and my mushroom powder, and like I want to feel a certain way.
It's a little different than, going out and sitting on your porch and breathing in the quiet morning air at the sunrise.
Yeah, I mean, I love doing that too.
You don't get a dopamine hit like you would with your coffee or your supplement stack.
I want to feel something. I'm an addict. I want to feel something.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm not feeling something, then something's off.
Yeah.
So I want stimulated. I want to feel. I want to feel something. So like, I'm guilty of it too. But like, damn, we're screwed up as a society.
For sure. I mean, the nicotine's trending. We got the marijuana. We have the peptides. We have all of the biohacking things. We have scrolling on social media. Everyone's fucked.
Yeah. That's a big one. The other night, I can't remember what night it was, but it's pretty recent. It was
last Wednesday night. I was talking with Zoe.
Oh.
Are you talking about
scrolling? Oh, yeah. Yeah, so she was busy. Mm-hmm. So I was like...
Talking with a friend, connecting.
I was like, she's not bugging me, so I can do whatever I want.
Bugging you.
And what did I do? I went outside.
The car broke down. No, that wasn't...
Yeah, I had to go get stuff ready to take the car somewhere. And that took like 10 minutes. But it was like a thing that wasn't... It was like more than what I thought it would be. So I was like, whew, now that that's over, I can chill. So I like sat down and got on my phone, of course, and I start scrolling. Meanwhile, there's like dirty dishes or like dishes that need put away, and like kitchen needs cleaned up a little bit. And like
you told me you were gonna get a shower.
I was gonna get a shower. Yep, that was my plan. That's what should have happened. But then I got a shower like at 9:30 instead of at 7:30. Went to bed way later than what I should have because I sat in a chair and just got sucked into a scroll hole, just couldn't stop, and I was loving it.
To the point where Lily was coming up the steps, which she can't really do unattended very well. She was coming up the steps, and I hear her going up the steps, and I called for him, and he didn't
I don't think
answer.
she did.
I did. You can ask Zoe because she was on there. She was on the call.
I didn't hear it.
I called for him.
So it
He didn't
didn't
answer. I
happen.
was like, oh, you must not be in here. So, like, I had to help Lily up the steps.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, he's just sitting in the living room scrolling.
Just sucking my face off into the abyss of nothingness.
So you scrolled for like an hour and a half.
No, I did not. That's extreme.
We have screen time. We have receipts.
It was like 40 minutes.
No. I bet it was
Yeah.
about an hour. Had to be like an hour.
No. Your call was like an hour.
It was longer. Well,
Maybe it
look,
was an
I
hour.
need to know.
Maybe it was an hour. I'll say an hour.
45 minutes to an hour.
And
52
then
minutes.
Afterwards was an interesting experience.
Yeah, because I was smashing around the kitchen, putting the dishes away that were still out.
Yeah, I was like, oh, she's pissed. I was like, I fucked up. And like I felt afterward, I got up from my chair and I was like, man, I feel like shame. I feel like guilt like over me right now because of this scrolling. And I was talking to you about it. I wasn't sure if it was because of my neglect towards things that should have been done and like wasting time, or if it was from the actual screen of me doing what I did, you know, which I'm sure it's a both and conversation. But once you get, because I haven't really been on social media much for like past 2 months.
And the more you're off, the better it is.
Well, yeah, it's way better. My life has improved dramatically, and well, for a lot of other reasons. But once you're away from it from so long, and then you go back into it and you get a heavy dose of it, you're like, holy shit, what is this stuff? This is like a drug. And like, I felt like if I broke my sober streak, that's what it felt like. Like if I have dreams about it sometimes where I dream that I take a hit of marijuana. And I'm like, oh, it's no big deal. I'll just take a hit, you know, whatever. And then in the dream, I'm high and I'm like panicking. And then I'm like, holy fuck, why did I do that? I ruined everything. Like, I'm such a piece of shit, blah, blah, blah. And I like go off the rails in my dream. And I wake up, I'm like, okay, we're good. Just a dream. Just a dream. But like, that's how I felt after the social media thing, my scroll hole. Like, I felt like I broke the sober streak. I'm like, wow, this is like powerful stuff.
It's very powerful.
Yeah, it's like not good too
No.
because it feeds you exactly what you want.
Yeah.
Exactly what you want.
Yeah.
And it's really, really good at it.
Definitely.
Like,
and it never ends.
Once I got tired of seeing certain stuff, I started to see other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, oh, this is good stuff. This
Yeah.
is more entertaining stuff.
Yeah, they can tell. I think they can tell from your eye movements, like what you're looking at on the screen.
Yeah, they track it.
And like how long you hover on different things, what you read, what you don't. Like, it goes super deep.
Yeah. If you scroll past a pair of titties and you're just staring at the titties the whole time, it's like, oh, we got them with the tits. We're going to send them more tits. And then next thing you know, you're seeing naked boobs.
Yeah.
Which doesn't happen to me, but.
It never happened to me. So that's what you were doing last Wednesday night for an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scroll holing.
Yeah. I meant boobs.
Oh, no. No. No, I'm pretty good about that. I don't have, I think I have a lot of that stuff, like, blocked.
Well, your friend just heard us talking about it, so watch out. It's yes. Like he said boobs. Got it.
Attack!
That would be wild.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll happen.
We'll see. Boobs. You're like over there whispering.
I don't want to see them. I don't want to see them.
Anything else for the biohacking world, though? We're out in the weeds.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I just wanted to kind of talk briefly about how it's just gone off the rails, and I don't think that it's a good community anymore. Not that like what?
The community sucks.
Well, kind of does.
It does. There's a lot of bro vibes. I don't like bro vibes.
I mean,
no offense, bros, but
there's a lot of people that I still like, but
I think it's just very disconnected from the original mission. And there's a lot of, flaunting and
grifting.
Stuff like that kind of
it's a new
is
word.
a turn off.
Everybody uses grifting. He's a grifter.
It's went too far.
Definitely.
Like a lot of things. I mean, everything,
Yeah.
Everything feels like it's gone too far at this point.
Yeah, we're ushering in like the new world order in a lot of ways. With the technology that we're introducing, the AI that's happening, the things we're consuming, the things that we want, based off of our materialistic desires. It's kind of like, what are we doing? Are we against this stuff or are we not? Like, do we want the robots or
the materialism
want them?
is crazy. And I mean, it goes into the supplemental and the biohacking world so well. But just in general, I think it's exploded so much with social media because it's like, here's a link for my t-shirt, even though it's a plain white t-shirt. Like, and then 500 people go buy it. When before they wouldn't think they need another white t-shirt because they already have 3 in their closet. But now they want it because they see that you're wearing it because you're a cool person and like it has this like perfect fit or whatever it is. Like, I just feel like the same with the PEMF mat. If I post it every morning, I'm going to make people want that or feel like they need it.
Mm-hmm.
And the consumerism is just like off the charts. Like, everybody's just trying to keep up and be, trendy and cool. And it's like, I think the more that you can just not care about that and get away from that, the better it is. Go shop at a thrift store. Bring in some originality. Cool. I mean, yeah, and everything's just like a carbon copy. Everybody's just copying each other. It's like everybody looks the same. Everybody does the same things, buys the same stuff. It's like, where's like the personality,
Yeah, it's gone.
I know, it needs to come back.
It's consumed by...
Everybody wears baggy sweatpants and dad shoes and, they just, it's buying all of the fancy biohacking things, and that's how it is.
Not everybody, but that's what social media looks like.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's what the world looks like through the phone.
For sure.
But when you look at the world outside of the phone, you're like, oh, it's not so bad. There's hope.
Sometimes.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I might actually retract that statement.
I don't think so.
A lot of times I'm like, we are so screwed.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But to get unscrewed, you can go outside and see the sun and, connect to some of these biohacking things in a little more of a natural way by opening the window in your house, in your car, and doing some of the other things that we talked about.
We're going to get back to the triangle here, which is, if you're not watching the podcast episode, we have a picture of our Holy Health logo, and it's a triangle with the sun in the center of it and a nebula behind it. And the triangle represents a lot of things, the Holy Trinity, which things come in threes a lot, but the recipe for life is sunlight, water, and magnetism. And those 3 things are the ultimate biohacker.
Boom.
So
OG biohacking vibes.
Get some sunlight, drink good water. There's tons and tons of really good research coming out about the intelligence of water and
so cool.
All the benefits to water and what it does in the body and the fascia, and this, it's just unreal, the stuff that they're discovering about water that we've just kind of like overlooked.
I need to say something. RO water is not good water. RO filters are not good.
Preach
I
it.
will plant my
Preach.
I will plant my flag. I will fight anybody on this any day of the week because they're so popular. You know, everybody's promoting RO, and I don't care if they add minerals back in or if they sing you a song while they fill up your Stanley cup in the morning. I don't care.
Yeah,
Junk,
they want
garbage.
RO water and distilled water or something. There's like a community of people that do this. The distilled water thing.
Distilled. Cellcore was a distilled water cult. Distilled water is not what you want to be drinking. RO
Yeah.
water is dead water. There are no minerals in
Spring
either.
water only. Spring
The end.
water only. Water that comes from the earth
Definitely.
as it occurs naturally.
I will plant my flag in the anti-RO group forever.
That is the best water, the only water that is good. So,
Spring,
spring,
not RO.
not RO.
Junk, even if it
Junk.
remineralizes. Junk.
Yeah.
And usually in your fancy RO filter, if you tear them apart, which you're not going to do because they cost a ton of money, are just plastic canisters. So you're storing your RO water in plastic canisters anyways, but they don't look plastic on the outside. So you might as well just drink out of a plastic spring water bottle.
That is a good point.
Boom. The
Very
more
good
you
point.
know.
So yeah, sunlight, good water, get grounded, get outside, get in tune with nature somehow, go for a walk, touch the grass, get some type of conductive material like the earth or concrete. Like if you're walking on concrete with your bare feet, or out on your patio, your deck, or the sidewalk, even somewhere, touch it. Give it a little touch.
A little tap.
A little tip tappy.
And put the phone down.
Yes, that helps a ton. So
Cool. Anything to say? Anything to share?
no, I think that's kind of what I wanted to sum up the end of the episode with here is just the basics.
Promote.
The basics.
Anything you want to promote.
Promote for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Not yet.
Okay.
Soon.
Okay. I am on Substack writing every single week again. And I am... Where am I? I don't know. Wherever. Everywhere.
You're right here.
I am here.
Right in front of me.
And I'm there.
Hello.
I'm everywhere.
Hello.
All the links for everything are down below. You can find us in all of those places. Give us a rating.
Well, I do have some YouTube videos that you could go watch. Some lectures that I did at my church.
They are linked down below. Your old church.
Yeah. What'd I do them on? I forget.
Blood sugar.
Insulin resistance, nutrition, sleep, physical activity. Basically my little triangle of wellness that I talk about a lot.
Cool.
So
those are linked down below as well. So check all of that out.
Cooking show soon.
Yes, we keep saying that, but it will.
It's going to happen.
Leave us a rating or review. Share the show with somebody that you know. And with that, we will talk to you next week.
Cheers.
Bye.